Hi, Bill. This is the introduction video to your new quad, and I'm going to be going over some of the cool features and the setup of your quad. That way you can kind of know what's going on when you're looking at it. And I'm going to start with your transmitter here. So let's jump right in. Okay, on the transmitter, what we have here is I've color-coded your switches. That way it's easier to identify what they do when you're flying in the field or wherever. If you're needing to switch something fast, it's easier to, that I found anyway, to use color-coded switches. So in the back, we've got your failsafe right here, color-coded red. And then your flight mode switch here is blue. So the blue kind of matches in the NASA Assistant software, the color when you got it locked into GPS or the other flight modes is blue. So top position is GPS, and that's what it defaults to. That's the way I have it set up. And then your middle position here is your attitude mode, and then your bottom position, or second position rather, is your manual mode. And no matter which one of those three modes you're in, your failsafe will give you a return to home. So you flick that forward, it will fly back to where you started, and it will land and shut off the motors. So as a failsafe. When you're flying, you can adjust the way it flies or the way it behaves by rotating this knob right here. That will adjust your gains. So that's what I have that set up to. So that's kind of the overall layout of the switch setup for your transmitter. So when you start out, you're going to turn this on course first. There's your transmitter, and then you'll plug in your quad, and then you'll wait for the satellites to be found if you're starting out in GPS mode, and then you'll be able to start. The way to start your motors is you take these two sticks and you just push them both down into the bottom corners there, and then hold them for a second, and that will start your motors. All right, cool. Let's go back and look at the quad here and take a look at some of the features of it. Okay, I've got a lot of wires untucked here so I can kind of point out what goes to what. Obviously, we have your gimbal here. This is my GoPro. I stuck it in here that way just for this video so I can show you what it looks like and what it does when you plug it in and everything. I've got white LEDs behind the eyes here. And then, like I said, I think this is green over here and red's over there. I believe that's correct. And we'll know for sure in 2 seconds once I plug it in. Here we go. This is your FPV camera right here. So this is what's actually connected up to the head tracking in your goggles, which I'll demonstrate here for you in just a second. Your gimbal is set up to where when you plug in the quad, it's feeding off of the main battery, so it'll automatically fire up the way you want it to. Just when you get this, what you'll do is you'll take your GoPro and you'll take these two little screws out right here. This fits over the lens of your GoPro. You screw those in, and then that's rock solid, just like it should be. And then, like I say, when you plug it in, it'll come on. Move down here to the FPV transmitter. Okay, so I've got your Fat Shark transmitter mounted right here on a plate, just underneath your battery. I've got this is your FPV battery powering that transmitter. And it's just real simple. Velcros to right there. It hangs out right there. And what it'll do is the power for this right here will go into this little guy. It's hiding back here. This one. Okay, when you plug that into that will power your Fat Shark transmitter. And you want to make sure that you do not power this thing up right here without this antenna attached, or it will burn out the transmitter here, and you don't want that to happen at all. Got your FPV camera. It's the gray one coming out here, going up, and then that's actually going into your camera right here. Okay, and what we can do here is, like, I'll demonstrate that for you in just a second, but what we have is two cables running out here. Top one controls the tilt and the bottom one controls the pan. So it's really awesome actually how it's set up, and that's all ready to go there. On the battery, this here, I've got a Velcro strap here, which if you take that off, the battery literally just slides down in this pocket here. It's kind of like a battery bay is what I like to call it here, if I can get it to focus for me. Just a battery bay. It fits right in there, snug, right up to almost to where the gimbal is, but not quite. So that's how your battery's going to come mounted there. this right here is your NASA LED unit. This is also where you plug your USB for the computer in, but I have that just sitting right there so you'll be able to see your LED nice and neat when you're flying, so not a problem. Okay, let's what we're going to do is we're going to go and plug it in. I'll show you the LEDs and the gimbal here real quick. Okay, to plug it in, all I did was connect these two wires here. All right. Okay, and then you can hear those servos kind of working on that FPV camera. It's just kind of waiting for input, so it's just holding at like a standard normal level. The gimbal is on. You see that little tiny blue light right up there? That means it's working. So if I grab the quad and I go like this and rotate it, you'll see that the camera stays level just like it should. So it's functioning correctly. And like I say, I have the gains set up on your transmitter on that little knob that I showed you. But so you're out of channels on your transmitter in order to program an additional knob to make this tilt up and down. So what you're going to need to do is once the gains are exactly the way you want them, then I've got a little cord coming right out of here. You can kind of see it, the red, white, and black. And that plugs into your transmitter, which I'll show you here on channel 7, I believe, and that will then allow the same knob that you use for your gains to actually control the tilt function on your gimbal as well. All right, so now what we'll do here is I'm going to show you, let me just show you this here. Your LEDs flashing red like that, this means that there is no communication with the transmitter, so obviously I have that off. So like, for example, flick it on. There we go. So what we've got here is when it blinks green like that, it's in GPS mode and it's looking for satellites. Once it just blinks green and that's it, that typically means that all the satellites are found and it's good to go. Okay, and we're indoor, so I was surprised that it actually found the satellites in here, but it is pretty clear out there. Then I'm going to go ahead and flick it into attitude mode. This is attitude mode. Now orange is attitude mode. You'll see that. We'll go to manual mode. Nothing. Okay, so that's manual mode. Attitude mode is amber colored or orange. GPS is the top position. It's green. And that's what your LED status will do once you plug it in, and you got it's transmitter first, then your quadcopter. All right. Okay, on the Fat Sharks, this is what you're going to do. This is how you've got everything out of the box. You got your blades on now, and by the way, your blades, your front left side here. This is a clockwise spinning. It spins clockwise. So when you put your blades on, this is a right rotation. Then this front right hand side over here, this is actually a counterclockwise or left hand rotation. Okay, so this blade and the rear one to it they're identical. This blade and the rear one to it are also identical. So that's how you're going to set your blades on once you get it. So you pulled it out. Okay, first thing you're going to do here is you're going to go ahead and turn on your transmitter. Okay, that's already on. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and plug in the quad. All right, we plug that in. Now we should get green for GPS, which we are. And okay, and then there's the LEDs. Green on this side, red on that side. And of course, white behind the eyes. Okay, so now that's on. Your gimbal is stabilized. This camera is ready. Okay, and it's holding steady. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take this plug, this cord right here, we're going to plug it into the back of your transmitter. Right there into the trainer port. Okay, that's what we're going to do. And then we're going to plug this, after we plug that in there, we're going to plug that right into that port here on your goggles. Okay, let's go ahead and do that. Okay, now we have those two connected. What we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and power up the goggles by plugging this in right here. Just get that connected. All right, and you'll see that it's not doing anything. Okay, now once it's on, and you can see there is an image in the goggles in there. Well, there's a cap on there, but What we'll do here is this button right here. This is a roller button, but it's also, you can depress it. And so you have to depress it to turn it on. You'll hear it. To hold it for a second. Push it down and hold it for just a second. Oh, here we go. All right. Pretty good response. Awesome. So imagine being 400 feet up there and then just take a look down and see what you can see. And look all around. It's like having an eye in the sky. It's pretty awesome. It's very awesome, actually. So that's how your head tracking will work. Once you get it on, you fly, and when you're all done flying and then you land, okay, first thing you can do is if you push this button in and hold it again right up here, you hear beep, now it's off. Okay, your camera goes back into the fixed position, and then all you have to do is unplug this, unplug your quad right here, and then go back here, and you'll see that if I turn this off, it does not go off unless I unplug the trainer cord. Once I do that, it goes off. And that's how you're going to go through and shut it down. Also, right here, again, to get your FPV image, you'll turn it on. Actually, I didn't show you this, but I should have showed you this. This also needed to be connected to actually get your video. So to actually get your video, plug this in as well. That will turn on your transmitter to get your image into the goggles. But as far as the head tracking function, that's how you'll do that. Do it exactly like that, and then you'll get it to track. Just as long as you plug in your transmitter to get your image, and you're good to go. Awesome. So that's been your head tracking. Now, what I'd like to do is hopefully we can get a little flight test in here.